We met pretty early, playing rec soccer together for our neighborhood team. I think we were probably, what, like 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Probably?
I think 7.
And played on the same team for a while, and then kept playing on the same team.
We grew up at like a really exciting time for Seattle soccer. You know, we were 10 when the Sounders became an MLS team. We tried out for Sounders Academy together. Luckily got picked together as well. But all those tryouts we were together and hoping to be on the same team. And then when we started doing well in Academy, you get called up to certain first team trainings and you feel like you're close, and in retrospect, I don't think we were that close in that moment. Yeah, it definitely set us on the path to thinking this is where I want to be at some point. Something Jackson and I used to do a lot back in high school especially, but we still come do it together occasionally as well, and something you have to do in Seattle, take advantage of all the waterways. Our friendship's been a real anchor for me in my soccer career.
We've just always had each other, and we've always played on the same team for so many years now, and so it's kind of hard to put it in perspective, but I mean, it feels normal. It feels like how it should be. We're both very lucky to be in Seattle around family, so it makes it easy to access those support systems. Every time I've had a tough moment, I usually internalize it, and then I'll reach out to someone in that support system, whether it's like calling one of my parents or a good friend.
We're both really lucky with the support networks that we have. I know that for me has been a big part of building the perseverance and the resilience that I have had to have in my career, because I've had a huge support network around me that have continued to support me in those moments when things looked pretty bad.
A carpool is maybe a metaphor in this of a support system, because you know they're there with you every step of the way, and our parents drove us all the time growing up, but I think that was just a small part of what they really did. I think having that support system is really important.
Today is the MLS Super Draft 2021. Is the day when dreams are made.
Chicago picked me in the second round. They said to stay in school because the draft was in January and the season's normally in the fall, but during COVID, it was in the spring, so they said stay and play those games, and then you can join us after the season. It didn't go great. They chose not to sign me. I wasn't sure if I was cut out for pro soccer at all. Reached out to Wade Weber, who was the head coach of Tacoma at the time, and said, I'm kind of without a team. Can I come train with you while I figure out what to do? I did okay enough then to get a contract with Tacoma, and then got called up after that season.
I don't know if Jackson knows this, but I think there's been a couple moments like that where he's led the way for both of us. He got the first interest from a couple colleges and then committed, and I wanted to do something similar. COVID happened for our senior season, so come the draft, I actually wasn't expecting to get drafted by anybody. Toronto drafted me in the late 3rd round. They told me the same thing they told Jackson, to keep playing at school for the time being and then join them in the summer, and come in as a blood substitute and break my hand on my first professional game in the first play on a corner kick. I go to the hospital afterwards, and it's a 10-week surgery on my hand. My 2nd week as a pro, I'm having hand and ankle surgery. I then did the 2nd season with Toronto 2, got a couple first team opportunities, and they didn't pan out to how I would have liked.
O'Neill coming off, Rothrock coming in. But it's a big moment for the youngster.
Here, Rothrock trying to get in round the left side, battling with Jermaine Brown. Rothrock to the byline, saved by Cropper.
It's always a good opportunity when you get to hear from players who have been in your shoes, walked your path. Paul Rothrock, Jackson Ragen, you may not have met them personally, but you certainly know who they are. We asked them to come and just say a few words to you sort of as the year gets started.
I just want to say to you guys, like, Jackson and I's stories have both been pretty unconventional. Wherever you are in the program, wherever you feel like you are on the depth chart with the Sounders, a lot can change in a year.
Rarely is a successful career, like have a straight line, you know, academy to second team to first team to wherever you might go from there. So, I mean, it sounds a little cliche, but I think you're gonna have so many failures in your life, more than successes, and it's about how you react to all of that. And Paul or I never offered a contract out of the academy, never offered a contract out of college, got drafted to different teams. I got cut from my team. Paul played a little bit for the second team of his team and eventually made it back to playing for the first team here. So wherever your path might take you, just keep believing. I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it at times. You just got to keep believing and persevering, and you never know what will happen.
If you guys do need support in some of those moments, like we can be good guys to talk to. You guys can get our numbers, you can approach us after training, and I hope you guys know that we can be a support system for you too.
You know, I really think that the ownership of your success, it belongs with the two of you. I think if I had an impact, it was on things I said more than things I did.
We both feel that you've played a big role for us, and I think, speaking for me personally, I think it's been in a number of facets, but if I was gonna generalize it, I think you really helped me understand the transition to becoming a professional. So I know for me, and I bet I can speak for Jackson too, we do owe a lot to you of just mentoring us through some of those phases that were such crucial phases for us to be here now.
Reflecting on that year in academy with you, I think we felt like that was the biggest jump in our development, especially as a player, but also as just human beings. I think it was a little bit due to the environment and being in a more professional setting with better players, but I think a lot of it was your teaching and your words of advice and your mentorship that continued on after that year as well. So I think we have a lot to thank you for.
Good injured pass here. Bossy, Bear. Oh, he pulled the trigger. Jackson Ragen got in the way. Out rolled on, available. Smith slides over, deflected ball on the back post, and they got it! Seattle finds it through the second half substitute. Paul Rothrock.
Back for Leo Chu, keeps his feet, passes Morris, and there is the goal for Paul Rothrock.
Well hit all the way through Jackson Ragen. Set piece opportunity, and Jackson Ragen, one touch, tucks it home. Rothrock sets it for him, hits it straight, second effort, buries it. Sounders back in business.
Morris, Rothrock.
I think the fact that we both made it back here kind of shows that it was meant to be in the end, and we had to take a really weird journey to get back here, but I think we're both very glad to be back here playing together for the team that we grew up watching.
I remember when Obafemi came to our practice one time and he signed my cleats, and those became my lucky cleats, and now we're doing that for kids, so it's just pretty wild.